Hi guys, this is Sahil from our office at the Emirates Towers in Dubai, and I'm here to do this AMA where we have picked 5 questions, and I am about to answer all 5 of them. And yeah, pretty much we received a lot of questions, but these 5 questions really just sum everything up. So I just picked these 5 up so that they literally answer everyone. So let's get started right away. First question is coming from Crypto News 95. I've been following you for a long time and I see you have a bright future. My question is, why are you developing so slowly? What prevents you from actively developing like many other projects? I have a simple answer to that. So we are not really developing slowly. I think the developments go public slowly, but we haven't really been developing slowly. And as a matter of fact, the whole organization at ZPAE is not really currently developing, but rather we have been associated with alliancing and partnering with other projects which have actively developed already. So for example, we struck a partnership for the point of sale terminals. We did something with PundiX and we did something with iVenPay. We already have demonstrated iVenPay, the point of sale terminal, and then we partnered with Clever to basically leverage on their wallet. So we don't really have the vision or agenda to develop something currently, but we have an agenda and a vision to grow this adoption constantly by partnering and alliancing with people who have already spent years and years working to develop products. So I don't really see that we are developing anything slowly. I think where we are slow in terms of is able to execute those things to public. I mean, internally we have seen ZPAE being integrated on ATMs, on point of sale terminals. Even the debit card thing is a go-go. The only thing that stops us from getting this public and to really mass adoption is the regulatory side of it, which we are currently working on to solve. So I think that's what really pauses us. That's what really keeps things private. And I think there's been a lot of developments on that front as well, which I cannot speak of about which I cannot already speak in public about because I'm definitely under NDAs. But yeah, we have really moved on the regulatory side of it. And well, there's one thing that I can definitely say is that we are pretty much aligned to kind of go live in a week with everything as soon as we are able to make that regulatory news public. And I think that's pretty much what's stopping us right now from literally fully putting everything public. And I think that's the biggest challenge, because how do you keep something so silent and still keep it moving without the need of making it public? And I think that's the issue, because these things that we're doing are pretty high level and we cannot really just speak about them already. That's why all of this is private, and our main job is to keep the ball rolling until we're able to publicly speak about what we have done in the past few weeks or months. So yeah, that's where we stand. But all in all, there's some great development which is happening on the higher level internally, and as soon as that goes public, I expect that to go public in the next few weeks. But then as soon as that goes public, it's going to be a whole different game. So it's gonna be a whole different level as well. So yeah, that's pretty much answered your first question on why you think that we have been developing slowly. So yeah, I hope I answered that pretty. Next question comes from Luca Marano. Sorry. In what ways VERADA is different from OpenSea? There's a huge divide. There's a huge gap. So for us, is more of a niche NFT marketplace. OpenSea is like the eBay for NFTs. Firdaus has a deflationary angle to it. OpenSea doesn't have a token. Firdaus curates NFTs privately and launches collections privately to the public. OpenSea is just public for everybody to come in, so they don't really launch auctions or curate NFTs. We do that. We are currently focused on real estate and music as a company. We have been, whatever NFTs that you see going out on Firdaus are just test NFTs. Those are not the real big ones that we have curated so far. You haven't even seen those. So yeah, that's majorly 2 things that differentiate Firdaus from OpenSea. The next good part is that when I say deflationary, right now there's a manual deflation method involved, wherein all the proceeds that we raise from each auction, 2% of that gets burned in FTO. There's going to be an automated process wherein it's going to automatically burn 2% no matter whoever raises FTO from their NFT auctions on Firdaus. So that's going to come in. On top of that, we are working on an alternate to basically enable people to pay the fees of minting or moving into auctions with the FTO token instead of Ethereum. So that's something that we're working on. We also need, on a very core level, we are also working on establishing our own node on Ethereum so that the transactions can move faster. There could be lower transaction fees and it could really work smoothly. We also have an ongoing internal discussion with the devs on moving it to the Rarible protocol because we have worked with Rarible pretty closely in the past few months, having a lot of celebs on their platform. So yeah, I think we're working on discussing internally whether it's a sensible decision to move it to Rarible protocol or not, because in both the cases, running our own node and moving it to Rarible protocol makes the transactions faster, makes the minting fee lower, and just gives a wholesome experience on the platform. So that's something that we're working on. So yeah, that's pretty much what's coming for Firdaus alongside all the drops that are lined. I think the core thing is we're working on fixing the marketplace so that it works pretty smooth and it's super easy for people at the lowest of cost to mint and to auction, so that it just becomes a whole thing for people. So that's pretty much. So the next one comes from Diego. So I have no doubt that Firdaus and ZPAE are gems. What do I think is missing for them to definitely grow? I think I already spoke on this. It's just a matter of how we decide to not public the most crucial information that we have, the most crucial partnerships that we have closed, and how we decide to keep them private until a point where everything is everything is legitimate to go public with. So I think that's pretty much what keeps it slow, and that's pretty much what is missing for it to grow. I think the whole restriction of taking things public and establishing them and executing them in an open market is what's keeping us at a slow pace, but then that's pretty much what we're trying to sort. So yeah, that's what I believe is missing. And I think on top of that, what's really missing is liquidity on the exchanges. So there's something that we're doing to fix that, and we are trying to add more and more liquidity to the dexes, which is Uniswap, which is just swap for ZPAE, and the Uniswap for Firdaus. So we're trying to add more and more liquidity, more 6-7 figure sums of liquidity on those platforms, so that there is more and more volume that gets generated. And once that's sorted, we can actually move to issuing the debit cards, because that's again a very big divide. So even if you have a debit card, you can't really use it unless there's liquidity on the platforms, because in general at core, the way this works is if you swipe your debit card, you really need to have liquidity on the exchanges, because ZPAE gets sold the moment you swipe it and to buy something, or you use it to buy something. So that's pretty much a divide which we're trying to fix. And I think the easiest way to do that is adding liquidity on the decentralized exchanges rather than chasing the bigger ones, because if you have enough liquidity with enough use cases, I think it's easier to go on the bigger ones, and we don't really need to waste our time on that. So that's what we're going to do, because that's 100% in our control, and that's what we're going to start doing every week. We're going to start adding liquidity every week to those things. That sorts that problem to a very good extent. And once there's enough liquidity, we could attract a lot of buying power on the decentralized exchanges, because that's the way forward. So yeah, that's pretty much our plan to really have a fast growth in the next coming weeks. So that's pretty much how we. So the next question comes from Michael. Okay. So yeah, why aren't we following the roadmap of ZPAE? When will a new roadmap be released, and what are our expectations about it? So yeah, pretty straightforward answer to that. The roadmap remains pretty much the same. The dates have definitely changed because of obvious reasons. So that has changed, but the roadmap remains exactly the same. Things that we are about to achieve and things that we have planned to achieve will stay the same. There's no doubt about that. And I think I pretty much covered on how we we plan to sort this out. But I think in order to get to those big levels, we need to really just sort on the ground level problems first, which is the liquidity, which I already answered, and the next part is to the regulations, which I think I've already neatly touched upon. So yeah, once we have those core things sorted, and I think there are a lot of still minor touch-ups that need to get sorted, for example, the info that gets displayed on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, that needs to be fixed big time. So yeah, all of these small things that lead up to securing the base is what we're doing right now, so that it's all polished and neat, and once that's done, we can get activated on the bigger plan again, and we can start doing that. And I think the roadmap is going to stay the same. It's always going to stay the same, and it's going to get achieved. There's just going to be minor delays, but it is going to get achieved as it is, no doubt. So yeah, that's pretty much the answer. Last question coming from Tam. So he speaks about a lot of things, but I think I'm going to circle the important ones out, which is when will we publicly burn ZPAE. So I think the easiest answer to that is that one of the top holders for ZPAE is a smart contract, which is a time lock smart contract, which basically helps in unlocking and burning ZPAE tokens which were initially minted. So I think all the tokens in that contract will be burned as per the schedule which comes in. So we already have a burn schedule. You can definitely check that. We will increase the number of tokens in that, so that we burn heavily and more than what was earlier scheduled. In terms of buyback, we're actively buying back almost every day in minor quantities and limit orders across exchanges, so that we can then announce buybacks almost every month. So this is the plan. So yeah, that's the plan, wherein we go from 2.4 billion to 1.3 and then cap it at 1.3 billion further. So that's pretty much the plan. But yeah, all in all, what needs to be really understood is that the supply is going to get dragged back from 2.4 billion to 1.3 billion in no time, and that's where it's going to get capped. And because now there's no minting function, so there could be no more new ZPAE tokens on Transcan or anywhere again. So there will no longer be any more ZPAE tokens, which is obvious. So what's the plan to build a larger community is what he says again. Now the plan is pretty simple. We have had active communities for multiple countries before. We are reactivating those, so we have multiple communities for around the world. I can't even name, there are too many of them. We are reactivating those admins so that we can, and mods, so that we can create this bigger portion of multiple Telegram groups and multiple Twitter communities to cater to all different languages from and all different nationalities where holders are from. So that's one thing. We will actively do AMA in our partner communities. So we have a lot of partners, Clever, Tron, DigiByte, and all these people. So we would do active and host active AMAs together in the coming weeks, so that we can grow the community forward. And yeah, that's pretty much our plan to take this up. So yeah, I hope I answer pretty much all the questions appropriately, and there's a lot more to do, and there's going to be a whole detailed thing in the transcript of this AMA, so do read that. Cheers, thank you.